Everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. Before we start, I would love it if you guys hit that like button because it does help the channel. And if you are not a subscriber, I would love for you to be a subscriber full time. If you can hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to ring that bell because it will let you know every time I drop a new video. And if you guys haven't, join us on our lives. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. we're usually live on either my channel or on a Therapeutic Edges channel. So we'd love to have you there. What are we taking a look at today? Well, we are going to take a look at the Benchmade Redoubt. This goes for $162. Do I like this knife so far? Yes, I do like this knife. I think $162 is a little bit steep. We're going to start off with that. I would probably stick to the bug out that's just my opinion. What are you going to get for your $162? Well, you're going to get a CPM D2 draw point blade with this beautiful black cobalt finish. It is a plain edge. You do have the typical Grivery scales. You know, the scales do have a lot of grip to it. You have your typical Benchmade clip, which is very short. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of being that short. Now, your pocket clip is going to be reversible, so it is right or left hand carry. They actually call this Overlander Gray, and your grip is going to be what they call a green forest. Now, the grip is really nice. It is definitely very grippy. It is thumb stud deployment, which is usually how Benchmade does it. And you do have your access lock style lock on here. It does drop shut nicely. It is very fidgety. You do have jimping on the back of your scales here, which is very nice. And you do have some jimping on the underside. Do you really need it? No, I don't think so on this one. It feels, to me, it feels really good in hand. The clip is not really a hot point for me. Now, the only thing is, for me, that this is almost too grippy, okay? If it was soft, like a softer material, it wouldn't be quite so bad. But with being the harder plastic material, it is a bit grippy, and after a lot of use, you can see there in my hand, it's going to leave marks everywhere. So it can be just a little bit much, especially where the jimping is here, because it does ride right on the knuckles. You can see that there, and it does get a little bit uncomfortable for me. But is it a good knife? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Absolutely, I do. Would I pay $162? Probably not. So I do have to apologize for that part of it. Your blade length. So your blade length is going to be 3.5 inches with just over a 3.5 inch cutting edge. Your handle length is going to be, you know, because the pocket clip sticks up a bit, you're going to be about 4 3/4 of an inch, which is going to give you an overall of just over 8 1/4 inches. And again, because you have that, the way the pocket clip is kind of inset into the back, it's gonna stick up just a tad, as you can see. So it is going to give you just that little bit more of a length on that. It is very easy to deploy, very smooth. It is very light. I do like that. It is very comfortable in hand, but like I said, the one thing that does bother me is I wish this was a little bit less aggressive. Everything else about it, I do enjoy. So don't get me wrong on that. It is very well done, as Benchmades usually are. Does have the lanyard space there if you guys want to put a lanyard on it, because I know a lot of people do like their lanyards. If we do a couple size comparisons here, we have got the Baby Banter, which is definitely a small knife, thus Baby Banter. We're going to take a look at it next to the Bug Out. So it is a tiny bit bigger, not a whole lot, but yes. And let's take a look at it next to the Rat here. And the rat is definitely a large size knife. Even though this is not that much smaller, I would put it in the Marge or the medium to large size. We've got the PM2 and the Para 3. For those of you Spyderco fans, you want to see that. Okay, so, you know, it is a good size knife. So for those of you that have the larger hands, it's going to be good for you. Those with smaller hands, it's still good for the smaller hand size too. We haven't used it for anything aggressive. It is not ours to use, but we have used it just to try it on some cardboard. I tend to pull it out, and I don't have my paracord out now, but I tend to pull it out and just see what it will do to paracord. How easily does it slice through it? It does what all my Benchmade knives do. But as I said, the only thing I have an issue with would be the price for $162, because I could go get, you know, I prefer the bug out. So I would tend to spend my money to get myself a bug out. But for those of you that like to have a larger size knife, this may definitely be the one for you. The handles have a really good thickness to it, so it does feel really good in hand. As far as overall how it feels, as much in my hand, it feels really good. So I can't, you know, I can't complain. I really do have to go back to the pricing on this. I do love everything about it, except the scales need to be a little bit less aggressive, and the price should come down just a tad. It is a fun knife. It is snappy. It has been a blast to play with it. It's Benchmade, and I do like my Benchmades. So I really just feel that if you guys want a Benchmade, go for it. Grab one. It is a good knife. It may just not necessarily be the knife that is for me. I believe that I heard a Therapeutic Edge doing his review it on the other day, and he likes the knife, but he does have some little issues with price also. Sorry about that, you guys. Just getting a little drink there. If you guys saw the Tagged Out, now that was another Benchmade that I really enjoyed. I actually think I would prefer that one over this one. But I think this one would be a pretty good little workhorse. I think it would do good. The clip has some great retention on it, so although it is short, it has really good retention. And the fact that it is sunk into the top of the scales, or in between, I do like the way they did that. You know, it is definitely a true deep carry. Now, the only issue that I had, or the other issue that I had with this too, is when you put this in, because of the aggressiveness of this, it does kind of catch on the jean pockets. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a little bit damaging on the jean pockets too. So it's going to make it kind of fray a little bit easier. It just needs to be softened up, in my opinion. Somehow or another, it's got to be softened up. So that is my review of the Benchmade Redoubt. It's just not the knife for me, but it may be definitely the knife for you. I will leave a link down in the description to this knife if you guys would like to grab yourself one. Feel free to leave any comments or questions down in the comments section. You know, I like talking to you. I try to answer every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.